Samsung is reportedly getting ready to shake up the foldable phone market again, and this time the focus isn't just on flashy innovation, it's on making a foldable that feels more like a real tablet when it's open, and a genuinely compact phone when it's closed. According to the latest rumors, Samsung's next big foldable could be called the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide, and the name itself tells the story. Wider proportions, a more practical inner screen, and a design strategy meant to push foldables closer to mainstream adoption, right as competition heats up from brands like Google, Xiaomi, and especially Apple, which is widely expected to be exploring its own foldable iPhone. So what exactly is the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide? What makes it different from previous Galaxy Z Fold models? And why could this new 4:3 display approach be a major turning point? For foldable smartphones? Let's break down the leaked specs, the design choices, the software upgrades, the compromises, and what it all means for the future of foldable phones. First, the headline feature, a wider, tablet-like inner display. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide is rumored to feature a 7.6-inch inner display with a near-square 4.3 aspect ratio. That's a big shift, because most foldables have traditionally leaned toward taller, narrower screens that look impressive on paper but can feel awkward in real-world multitasking. A 4:3 inner display changes how the phone works the moment you unfold it. Instead of getting an elongated canvas that feels like a stretched phone, you get something much closer to a compact tablet layout, the kind of shape that makes sense for productivity and media. And if Samsung truly commits to 4:3, the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide could become one of the most practical foldables yet for things people actually do every day, like opening two apps side by side without either one feeling cramped editing documents, and spreadsheets with more usable width-reading articles and ebooks with a more natural page layout, browsing the web without everything looking squeezed, drawing and note-taking with a more balanced workspace, gaming with a wider, more immersive field of view. This is the kind of design pivot that's less about, look what we can build, and more about, look how much better this is to use. Now, Samsung reportedly isn't just changing the inside screen. The outer display is also being rethought for portability. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide is rumored to include a 5.4-inch outer display, designed specifically for fast, one-handed use. In other words, Samsung may be intentionally keeping the cover screen compact, so when the phone is folded shut, it feels more like a truly portable device, not a brick. That outer screen is expected to be optimized for the quick stuff. Replying to messages, answering calls, checking notifications, controlling music, using maps at a glance, scanning emails or to-do lists. The idea seems simple. Use the outer screen for speed and convenience, and open the phone when you want the full tablet-style experience. And this is where the wide strategy becomes really interesting, because Samsung is essentially betting that people don't need the outer display to feel like a full normal smartphone all the time. Instead, it's treating the outer display like a utility screen and the inner display like the main event. If Samsung gets that balance right, it could solve one of the biggest complaints about foldables, that they often feel like compromises in both modes. Too narrow when closed, too tall and weird when open. Next up, thinness and portability, because the leaked dimensions are a major talking point. According to the rumor, the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide could measure around 4.9 millimeters thick when unfolded, and about 9.8 millimeters when folded. Those numbers matter because foldables have always fought the bulky perception. Even when they're impressive engineering, many people still avoid them because they feel thick, heavy, and pocket-unfriendly compared to standard flagship phones. If Samsung can keep the Z Fold 8 Wide under 10 millimeters when closed, while also delivering a wide 7.6-inch inner display, that's a strong statement. Big screen when you want it, slim profile when you don't. But with every foldable, thinness and design ambition bring trade-offs, and this leak suggests Samsung is making a few calculated compromises. Let's talk. Cameras first. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide is rumored to feature a dual camera system, and while the sensors are expected to deliver high-quality everyday photos, the leak claims there may be no dedicated telephoto lens. For some buyers, that's a big deal. because the pro-level zoom lens is often what separates great cameras from flagship camera systems. So if this rumor is accurate, Samsung's thinking might be, most people use the main camera most of the time. Ultra-wide is useful for travel, groups, and interiors. Telephoto is nice, but it adds cost, space, and complexity, and in a foldable where space is everything, and where thinness and hinge design already demand compromises, Samsung may be choosing practicality and design goals over a full camera arsenal. Now let's talk battery, because that's the other major trade-off mentioned in the leak. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide is rumored to have a smaller battery capacity, likely as a consequence of the compact outer design and the engineering needed to support a larger, wider, inner display. On paper, a smaller battery in a foldable sounds concerning because foldables have two displays to power more complex thermals, more demanding multitasking use cases, users who naturally spend more time on the big screen. But the rumor also points to Samsung countering this with energy-efficient display technology and software level battery optimizations designed to stretch real-world endurance. This is where Samsung's foldable experience matters. Samsung has had years to study how people actually use Galaxy Z Fold devices. When they open them, how long they stay open, what apps they run, and what drains battery the fastest. So rather than simply packing in a bigger battery, Samsung may be trying to win with efficiency, adaptive refresh rate behavior, smarter brightness control, better background app management, and display tuning that reduces power draw without sacrificing the premium feel. Of course, the real test will be every day. Battery life, not promises, but the direction is clear. Slimmer device, wider screen, and software doing more of the heavy lifting. And speaking of software, this could be one of the biggest reasons the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide matters. The leak claims Samsung's One UI 9 is being optimized specifically for the 4:3 aspect ratio of the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide, and that matters because hardware alone doesn't make a great foldable. Foldables succeed or fail on software polish. How smoothly apps resize, how well split screen works, whether multitasking feels natural or forced, how consistent the experience is across folded and unfolded modes with a wider inner display. Samsung can push multitasking in a way that feels more like a real tablet. That means more comfortable two-app layouts, better space for floating windows, improved drag-and-drop behavior, and less of that everything looks squished feeling that can happen on narrow foldable screens. For professionals, this is the dream use case. Email on one side, document on the other, calendar plus notes chat app, plus browser PDF, plus markup tools video call, while viewing reference material and for media. Fans, the wider display could also feel more natural, especially for content that fits 16.9 and 4.3 formats. Whether you're streaming, reading, or web browsing, the 4:3 canvas often feels closer to what people already enjoy on tablets. The leak also mentions features like adaptive app scaling and improved gesture controls, exactly the kind of behind-the-scenes improvements that make a foldable feel finished rather than experimental. Now let's step back and look at what Samsung is doing strategically, because the timing here is not an accident. Samsung is reportedly positioning the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide to strengthen its dominance in foldables right as competitors are closing in. And the biggest looming rival isn't another Android foldable, it's Apple. Apple is heavily rumored to be exploring a foldable iPhone, and even if it doesn't launch immediately, the anticipation alone changes the market. Samsung doesn't just want to sell foldables. It wants to define what a foldable should be before Apple enters the conversation. And here's the irony that could make Samsung's position even stronger. Samsung is one of the world's key suppliers of advanced display technology, including foldable panels.